Happy New Year, everyone. So, welcome to Moving Beyond Burnout. So, today I'm going to be talking about Black women healing from exhaustion. But before I jump in, if you don't know who I am, my name is Camesha Jones Brandon. I am a licensed clinical social worker, recovering workaholic, and burnout overcomer. I created Moving Beyond Burnout to empower Black women to cultivate self awareness and to create practical pathways to overcome burnout for good. So, if you're joining me for the first time on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Instagram, please like this video, please share it. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the newsletter and then also subscribe to the channel, but then also please subscribe to my newsletter. It comes out every 2 weeks and I'm talking about everything relating to like healing from burnout, Black women, and just like how can we be well even in very challenging times. So today's topic, which I'm so excited to talk about, this is my second live for the new year, and I will tell you all that my new year got off to an interesting start. And it reminded me, why it's so important to be actively healing, from exhaustion, but also to think about how I can, and so many of you all, just realign your lives in such a way where exhaustion isn't even really commonplace. But I have just been so inspired over the past year, I would say 2 years, of what I'm seeing happening with Black women healing from exhaustion. And so today I'm going to talk about the top 5 ways that I'm seeing Black women actively heal from exhaustion. And what I'll say about this is it's beyond the trend. With social media and pop culture in the age that we're in, trends of, certain jargon or terms or practices pop up every single day. But there are certain things that stick. And I believe that these 5 ways that Black women are healing from exhaustion are beyond trends, and they're actually sticking, and they are having a profound impact, not just on us as individuals, but I think just everyone, right? And so I have a little quick slideshow to talk about these 5 ways that Black women are healing from exhaustion. So the first one is Black women resting. So I don't know if you're like me, but when I'm talking to my friends, when I'm talking to my colleagues, when I'm talking to other Black women, the first thing that comes up is rest. Black women saying that what they want to prioritize right now is resting and actually doing it. I am so inspired, and I know so many other people are inspired by Trisha Hersey from the Nap Ministry, who came out with the groundbreaking book, Rest is Resistance. And it's really just shaking up how we see ourselves, how we connect to hustle, grind, productivity culture, our history as African Americans, and how we were denied of rest. And so I see so many people who are like, I'm resting, I'm not going over, I'm not overextending, I'm not going to be doing the most, I am going to be resting. So I just continue to see that to happen. And I don't think, it's a phase. I think that like Black women are really like, we're resting. We're not doing the most anymore. And we're finding different ways to rest, right? So it's not just taking a nap. It's not just taking time off. It's how can we build in this rest in our everyday lives and not just as a treat or in a special occasion. So the next one is Black women saving themselves. If you are a Black woman who is saving yourself right now, please drop a heart. Please drop something in the comments, because I am seeing, especially after all that's transpired this year, Black women saving themselves and saying, hey, we're not here to save the whole community. We're not here to save the whole country. We're not here to save everybody. We want to prioritize and save and take care of ourselves. While some people may argue that that may be selfish, and I definitely hear that a lot with, being a millennial and Gen Z and, us prioritizing ourselves more than other generations. But what we can say is we've seen what's happened to our moms, our grandmas, our aunties, our community members, and how they broke their necks to save everybody else. And then there was nothing left for themselves. So this is something that I'm really seeing in this quote. I believe the woman's name is Lisa. I can't remember her last name, but she posted this on LinkedIn. Dear Black women, please take off your cape, right? And so giving us permission to take off our cape, not have to be at the forefront and saving everyone else, but how can we take off the cape and actually focus on saving and loving ourselves? So the next one is Black women setting boundaries. So I believe the word for last year, I feel like the word for last year was rest, but the word for the last year before was Black women setting boundaries. I hear this come up so much as someone who's in the mental health space, but just in general, I think that Black women are healing from exhaustion by setting boundaries and maintaining those boundaries with people that we have, relationships with, but also just in so many different environments, whether, it's work, it's school, it's family. Wherever we enter, I think Black women are actively thinking about how can we set and maintain boundaries so we can protect our peace. So I have a picture here of Nedra Tawwab. She wrote the book, Set Boundaries, Found Peace. She is the queen of setting boundaries. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. So please check out this book. If you have not read it thus far, it will change your life. I've read it myself. I actually have the workbook and I've used it in working with clients. But setting boundaries is so powerful, and it is one of the top ways that Black women are healing from exhaustion. Number 4, Black women opting out. So opting out. So saying we're not going to do it. We're going to look at other options. So I have a picture here of Stephanie Perry and Rashida Dow. They are 2 Black women who are founders of the Exodus Summit, which focuses on Black women, living abroad and experiencing life and freedom and ease outside the United States. I came across Stephanie Perry maybe about 2 years ago. And when I saw her channel and everything that she was talking about, what I loved about it was she's saying, hey, I'm opting out of the way that America is, the way that things are in this country for Black women, and I am opting into other opportunities. I think she's helped to just expand what we believe is possible and how our lives can look outside of this American context. And Stephanie Perry, she does so many videos, even though I'm someone who doesn't have a desire to live abroad. The fact that she's opening it up as an opportunity for Black women and saying you can live a life of ease. You don't have to work yourself into the ground. You can opt out of that, and you have other options that you can actually engage in. So I encourage you all to check out, Stephanie Perry and Rashida Dow. But these are 2 women who are healing from exhaustion by literally opting out. And I think we're seeing so many examples of Black women doing that across the board, opting out of leadership positions, opting out of being, the workhorse, opting out of taking on so many different responsibilities. And so I think that is one of the most powerful ways that I see Black women healing from exhaustion. And then lastly, Black women choosing themselves. And so I have the queen, the greatest of all time, Simone Biles here, and I'm going to tell you why. So 4 years ago was the Tokyo Olympics. And, everyone expected that Simone would win the gold, that she would perform in the way that she has always decided to do. But she decided to withdraw from part of the Tokyo Olympics because of her mental health. She was not feeling her best. And if you think about it with gymnastics, you're flipping, moving all over the place. And if you're not feeling your best mentally, it could be a really dangerous situation. And I really remember her getting so much backlash for opting out and for choosing herself in that moment. And so to see her, I watched her documentary on Netflix. So I'm fangirl of Simone Biles. So I just grew even more admiration for her. But in the Netflix documentary, it documented, what's happened to her since the Tokyo Olympics. So to see her choose herself, one, and then to come back 4 years later and decide to win it all over again, even after overcoming all those obstacles, but deciding to choose herself first and say, hey, I'm still the baddest, but I'm gonna come and do this when I want to. And so I think it's just a great example of like Black women choosing themselves, not having to live up to everyone's expectations, to have to perform. I just see so many of us just trying to perform, just trying to prove ourselves. And for what? At the end of the day, if we're hurting, if we're suffering on the inside. So the last way that I'm seeing Black women heal from exhaustion is to choose themselves. And so these are just like a couple of, ways that I want you all to think about, like, what out of these, 5 ways are you embracing as you're healing from exhaustion, as you're working to a life where you're, free from burnout and being active and intentional. And so these are just a couple of ways that I see Black women healing from exhaustion. So I'm gonna go through them just one more time for people who joined us late. So the first is Black women resting. The second is Black women saving themselves. The third is Black women setting boundaries. The fourth is Black women opting out. And the last one, the fifth one, most importantly, is Black women choosing themselves. So I hope that like you all watching this gives you some inspiration, but also gives you some things to think about. We are at the top of the year, and I know at the top of the year, everybody's like, okay, we got to do this. We got these goals. We got these plans. We have all these things that we want to do. But at the same time, we also want to be active of not putting yourself back in those same cycles of burnout, those same cycles of exhaustion. And so there are Black women all around us that are doing this in major ways, in minor ways, in simple ways. So I would love for you all to begin to think about what that could look like for you. So the next topic that I'll be talking about in 2 weeks is how to create a burnout prevention plan that actually works. So as we're at the top of the year, it marks a new beginning, but also I want you all to experience a year where you're not burned out like the whole year or at all if possible, but you know how life's. But I would like you all to join me because I'm going to be talking about my burnout prevention plan and the things that I've worked on with other Black women as it relates to burnout and how to create something that's sustainable and actually works. And so join me in 2 weeks as I'll be talking about that. Maybe come with your pen, your journal, and I'll be going over like how to create that burnout prevention plan and how to make it simple and test it out and see if it can actually work for you. So join me every other Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Time. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. In the description, I also have the newsletter that I send out every 2 weeks, focused on burnout in Black women. And even if you're not a Black woman and you're watching this, a lot of what I share can also apply to you as well. So please subscribe. And I look forward to being with you all through 2025. Last year was my first year doing this live stream. And I just wanted to see like how it went. I don't have any big expectations. My newsletter on LinkedIn, I launched it in June and it already has almost 900 subscribers, which blew me away. So it's very clear that people need this type of content and they need this type of support. So I'm going to be with you all every 2 weeks unless I just feel like I can't do it. So I look forward to building with you all, talking to you all, and just being inspired by you all in 2025. So I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and take care and be well.